Welcome back to the vlog. In this episode, we're going to be at Lucky Chances Casino for the meetup game. We make some new friends and I saw some old ones that I haven't seen in quite a while. Anyway, there was someone that mentioned that they would like to know more information about some of the tells I pick up. So I decided to include one, and this is one of my favorite ones, and it's very useful and it's fairly accurate. So I would say 80–90% of the time, this is going to give you an excellent read. So I included it, and I go in depth of what I look for and what it looks like when it happens. Anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy. Here it comes. Today we're going to be at Lucky Chances Casino, which is just south of San Francisco in the city of Coma. We're going to be meeting up with Check Raise Charles, Andrew Locke, and of course all of those who attended. I really appreciate Lucky Chances Casino for hosting this event. They did a fabulous job and they deserve some of your business. So if you're in the San Francisco area, do me a favor, stop by, play a little poker, tell them that you appreciate them supporting vloggers, and make sure you take care of my good friend Kurt. He's a floor man over there at Lucky Chances. I've known Kurt for a very long time, and there isn't a finer person out there in the card room business. So give him some love, give him some money, make his day. Just before the meetup game started, I had the pleasure of meeting a guy named Frank, and I kind of put him on the spot with an impromptu interview. So please excuse the background noise. It was quite busy in the casino.
All right, hey, thanks for coming out to support the vloggers here.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Frank.
Where are you from, Frank?
I'm from Southern California, Temecula.
All right, thanks for coming all the way up here. What's your favorite hand?
Oh, it's 7-9 suited.
Why do you like 7-9 suited?
Well, it's a particularly good year.
Who's your favorite poker vlogger?
That's a tough question to answer.
I know, that's why I'm asking you, because I know you have an answer.
I think, I think it would have to be the OG, Andrew Neiman.
What poker vlogger do you think plays the best?
I'm not good enough to make a call. You know, you do a good job of explaining your thought process. So does Andrew, and so does Andrew Locke. And I like to take what I can from each of the shows and apply it to the game.
Okay, last question. Who is the biggest poker vlogger in the world?
I don't know. Is it I would have get. Yeah. It just came to me. Well, you are the biggest poker vlogger in the world.
All right, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you bet. Let's go get them.
So I win a small pot first hand in, lose another small pot second hand in. This is our third hand, and I have ace-9 of clubs on the button. There was a undergun +1 raise, a call, and I also call with my ace-9 suited. So we go three ways to a flop with 51 in, and we get a flop of queen 8-4 with 2 clubs. So pretty good flop for our hand. We have the nut flush draw, and we have an overcard if that happens to be good. Under the gun +1 bets out $25. This causes the other player to fold out, and $25 seems like a very fair price to draw to the nuts. So I put in the call for 25, and we get to see a turn card of an 8 of diamonds. 8 is definitely not a very good card for us. We are no longer drawing to the nuts, but I still think it's good enough to carry on. But he puts out a bet of $65. Now this is a pretty good sized bet, 2/3 pot. Definitely not giving me the right price to continue with a flush draw, unless I think I can extract additional value on the river if I hit it. And I think I do, and I still think that a ace might be good for a better 2 pair if he has a hand like king, queen, or queen, jack. So I put in the call, and we go to a river with 231 in the pot, and it's a beautiful 7 of clubs. Can't ask for much more, except for maybe, just maybe, the undergun player thinking that his hand is still the best, and he slides out a bet for $120. So this is a Goldilocks scenario. I have the best hand, I believe, and the person betting into me. Only one real move to do here, and that's just go for max value for me and max pain for my opponent. And I toss in the chip. He thought I said call, but I clearly said all in. The dealer gave me an all in button. So he turned his cards face up as he thought I was just calling. And then after about 2 or 3 minutes, he decided on putting in the call, and I showed him the bad news, and we took down this nice pot. So we got to double up maybe 10 minutes into the session. The villain from that last hand reloads for 300, picks up pocket aces the very next hand, and runs into ace king on a king high flop. It comes king on the turn, king on the river to lose to quad kings with pocket aces. Not a very good start for this poor gentleman. Running into the nut flush and quad kings on back-to-back hands. Ouch. My wife took this little video showing the people in the meetup game. That's my table in the foreground, and then we got the Andrews table, and Check Raise Charles has that back table over there in the corner. Here I am with Ace King, open for a raise to 20. Everybody folds except for the big blind, who goes ahead and puts in the call for the 20. And we'll go heads up to a flop. Flop comes down, ace high, I forgot what it was, didn't get a good view of it. Anyway, he checks, I bet 15, and he lets it go, and we move on to the next hand. Here's another hand where someone made quads. This time it was quad aces, so there's a lot of big hands again shown down early in the day. I wake up with ace king offsuit again. Open for a raise to 20. It gets folded back around. It looks like it was going to be a walk until the big blind decided, hey, I got something good here. Let's play for a little bit more. And he puts in a raise to $50. Kind of a small raise, kind of like he wants a little bit of action. I got a hand that can withstand some, but I'm not going to go crazy here. I'm just going to put in the call and we'll see a flop. So with 103 in, we get to see a flop of Queen, Queen 7 with 2 diamonds. I do have the King of Diamonds, so I have a backdoor flush draw. I got 2 overcards. He continues for a small sizing, so he made it 45. It's kind of loose of me right here, but I decided to give it a little call, find out whether he would continue on the turn, because I could definitely hold a queen with my calling range. I put in the call, and we get to see a turn card of a 7 of clubs. So now there's 2 pair on board. He decides to check it, and I thought about turning my hand into a bluff, but I'm a big chicken and I couldn't pull the trigger. I still got a pretty good hand. I might be able to catch an ace and a king and beat a pocket pair if he has one, say, between queens and 7s. River card comes as a deuce of clubs. He decides to bet for value, and at this point I really should fold, but he had me curious about the way he played this hand, and I was trying to determine whether his the little tell I picked up that he was strong was accurate or not. It was definitely accurate. He did have pocket kings. There's an open for 15, and then the player in the low jack decided to raise to 40. This is a little bit too small just to flat. Sometimes I would do this in position just to be a little tricky, but since it's a small 3-bet, I really need to put in a 4-bet, and it's going to be a pretty decent size. So after some thought, I decided to go for 135. Figure out price out all those small pocket pairs that might try to set mine and get it down to some of the bigger pairs or maybe ace king, ace queen type of hands. Everybody folds out except for the player, of course, in the low jack. He thinks $95 more is a fair price to pay to see the flop with his hand, and he puts in the money. So once he puts in the call, we have a pot of $291, and we get to go to a flop. We get a pretty good flop when it comes Queen 3-6 with 2 spades. We do have the ace of spades, so it's unlikely they have a flush draw, unless it's specifically King Jack, Jack 10 type of flush draw, which I don't think he would be calling a big raise with. If he has pocket queens, I'm in deep trouble, but I don't really think he does. And we'll find out. I put out a bet for $95. Dealer counted it out. He molds it over for a little bit and puts in the call. Our pot to stack ratio is now 1-to-1, so any kind of blank, I'm just going to go with it. Turn card is a 9 of hearts. Really shouldn't change anything. He might have something like ace queen of hearts, king queen of hearts. Picked up some sort of flush draw and might be willing to call a big bet. If he doesn't have a queen or better, I figure he's going to be folding to any bet. So I just decided to shove it all in and hope for the best. He quickly folds his hand. Didn't even think about it for more than a second or two, and it hit the muck. So I don't think he had much. Probably wasn't going to get any value with a smaller bet. There is a $6 straddle. Player opens for 36. This is the same player who had pocket kings against me earlier. I decided just to flat with my 2 queens. He gave the same kind of betting and physical appearance as he did earlier when he had a very strong hand. And I'm just going to be a little bit cautious on this one just because I think he's playing a very, very strong range on this particular hand. It gets folded around, and it'll just be the two of us going heads up to a flop. Well, we get to see a flop of 10-9-7, all rainbow. So, pretty good flop for an overpair. And he ends up checking it. Kind of suspicious. I think he has something really strong. Maybe he flopped a set of 10s or 9s. But I check it back, see a free turn card of a 4 diamonds. Now he decides to bet, and I was thinking that he can probably be doing this with two possible hands. Either something like super strong that has my queen's crush, like pocket 10s or 9s, or maybe he could have picked up a flush draw with, say, king queen of diamonds, ace queen of diamonds, ace king of diamonds. You know what I'm saying. So I was debating whether I should raise to protect against those drawing type hands, or whether I should just be cautious because I thought he had a very strong hand. So in the end, I decided to be cautious and just put in the call for the $45, and we got to see a river card. Now the river card is probably the worst card in the deck. It comes the ace of spades. So now if he had a strong hand like I originally thought, I'm definitely beat. And if he had a drawing hand like I thought what the other choices were, he has me beat too. But he put out a very odd sized bet in my opinion, and it made me really curious because I figured if he was trying to get value out of me, I might be calling him with, say, an ace king, ace queen type of hand and just really get sticky and took one off. And I thought his bet was a little small. I figured he would go for more value. So I'm curious whether he was just taking a stab at it with a missed draw, something like king queen of diamonds, queen jack of diamonds. I don't know. It got my curiosity again. I really couldn't put him on too much. I was thinking to myself, man, I wish I raised that turn card because then I would definitely know where I'm at. So after some thought, I decided, well, I'm just going to call it off, see what he has. It's probably a really bad call because, as I said, all his value hands definitely beat me. And I'm just trying to bluff catch maybe two combos. Anyway, I put it in. He said he had an ace, and I go, oh, ace is good. And I figured he got there with ace, king of diamonds, but he had pocket aces and river to set. So read was good, payoff bad. Wasn't too pleased with myself for wasting a bet on that last hand. Here I have pocket jacks under the gun +1, open for a raise to 15. It gets folded around to the player on the button who is a younger player and he plays very aggressively. He decides to raise to 60 and I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go again. But this player's a little bit different. As I said, he likes to play a little more aggressively. And with a premium hand, sometimes I just like to sit back and let someone be aggressive against me. So I think for a little bit and I put in the call. So we're going to go heads up to a flop with 126 in the pot. All right, so we get to see a flop of ace 8-6. So a bad flop for our particular hand. And there's two hearts out there and we don't even have a jack of hearts. So not much here to do but check and give up. So I check and he puts out a bet. But the way he did it made me think that he did not have an ace and that he was more stabbing at the pot. So I really thought about just flatting here and letting him bluff away his chips if he has a bluff. But I was a little bit scared that he might have something like pocket queens or at least a hand like king queen with two live overcards. So I decided to find out for sure whether he had something and I put in a little raise to 95. I figured if he had an ace, he would be calling. If he had a flush draw, he would be calling. If he had air like I was suspecting he had, he would be folding. After a few seconds, he decided just to let his hand go. He told me later that he was just messing around with me and thought about making a play. The action is starting to pick up at the table. There is a $6 straddle. We have a player who limped in from middle position and it's folded to me on the button. With ace-queen offsuit, I'm going to put in a raise, and I decided to go a little bit larger than I would normally do. If you find people in a gambling mood, the best thing to do is charge them the maximum you think you can get while you have a good hand. And ace-queen is definitely a good hand against a straddler and a limper, so I made it 41. The blinds end up folding, but the initial straddler puts in the call, and so does the middle position limper. So we're going to end up going three ways to a flop with 129 in the pot. Flop comes out ace, queen, 10 with two spades and a club. So great flop for our hand, great flop for our range. It is a little bit of a wet board. There are a lot of possible draws. Both players end up checking over to me. I decided to bet for 70. I think I could even go a little bit larger here, just because the board is so wet. It didn't seem like either one of them had too much. It didn't take them long before they released their cards, and we take down this nice little pot. Our chip stack is once again moving in the right direction. On to the next hand. Here's a quick low hand, pick up 2 aces. There is a raise to 10 from the under the gun player, so I make it 40, and everybody folds, so I just get the blind, $16 to $16. And here's the hand you've been waiting for. The player under the gun +1 opens for a raise to 15. I got king queen suited. I'm going to put in the call, and so does the player directly behind me. So we go 3 ways to a flop with 51 in, and the flop comes king 4 7 rainbow. Under the gun +1 decides to bet $15, and he kind of tossed them into the pot. So, did you see it? Did you see the tell? This is one of my favorite tells, and it happens in No Limit Hold'em a lot, and will save you tons of money in the long run just from this one tell. Let's back things up and look at it again. This time, let me point out a few things. So the under the gun player +1 was the initial raiser, and he already knows what's in his hand. There is absolutely no reason for someone to look back at their cards on such a dry flop. He knows whether he has a king or not, so watch him peek at his cards. He looks at the flop, he does a long peek at his cards. This is just to make you think that, oh, I'm not sure what I have. Oh, God, I wonder if that fits with my hand that I raised with. And then afterwards, he kind of flicks in the bet. It's like, oh, it's no big deal, it's just a small bet. It's only $15. Like, I don't have much. Of course he has a lot. This is a very strong tell that he has a strong hand. I have a strong hand also. I put in the call. Turn card comes as a 7 diamonds. A relative break unless someone's holding a 7. Now he decides on checking. And when he does, normally in this spot, I would definitely bet. I have top pair with the second best kicker, and he's shown weakness. Of course I should bet, but not on this occasion. I think he is very strong, and I'm going to just try to get the showdown the cheapest I can. I check, the player behind me checks. Now the river card comes as an ace. Definitely a bad card for my hand. I would be checking this no matter what. But my opponent has one last attempt of letting someone else bet his hand, and he puts in the check. I put in the check, and so does the opponent behind me, and he rolls over ace king. This could have been a much bigger pot, and I could have lost a lot of money. Here's another quick hand. I got jack 10 suited. I put in a raise. I get one caller from the person in the blind. Flop comes ace high, they check. I fire, c-bet, they fold. We take down this small pot. Here's another quick one. The player to my right's been opening up way too many hands, so I decided just to isolate him with 2 6s. Made it 15, I make it 60. It gets folded back around to him, and he just lets it go, showing ace deuce. And we take down another small pot. Here are some photos my wife took during the event. We bought in for 500, ran it up to 900, and we kind of held our position most of the evening, so we cashed out $400 winner. Big thanks again to Lucky Chances Casino for putting on the event. It was a lot of fun meeting everyone. We didn't end up getting a group picture this time. Everyone was very involved in their games. So look forward to doing it again next opportunity I get.
Thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate your support. If you would take a moment to like and subscribe, and maybe even hit that notification bell, it really does help out Doug's channel. Also, I'd like to say happy holidays to all of you. I hope you have a great New Year's also. Until the next time, we'll see you soon. Good luck at the tables.